strip.
I don't know. That was the first thing that came.
I thought about landing strip, and then I'm like Hitler. I'm like, what are all these? Jesus
God, your vagina is really serious right now.
I watched Harold and Kumar a couple of times.
That shit or not?
Vajazzled. I have vajazzled before, and it was not my finest moment.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, I'm MJ.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome to Keeping It Casual,
A sex-positive dating and relationship advice podcast.
Yes, I'm married with 2 kids.
And I'm navigating this crazy dating world.
We're just here to share our drama.
And the wild stories of our listeners.
Your Vegas girls are here for you.
Let's do it.
Give me those before they melt. Those
Before they melt.
She just puts them
wires in there. She's all just pass them over the fire.
Good evening.
Fire pit sessions are back. It's officially cold as hell in Vegas.
Dude, it was okay. So we had Halloween, and we had a freeze warning on fucking Halloween in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so
you can never wear your hoe shit Halloween costumes.
It didn't ruin my hoe shit. It's
always too cold.
But maybe
a hoe never gets cold.
The hoe. No. Maybe we should stop talking about the weather.
Faux.
So girls got to eat. Stop talking shit about us. But guess what, guys? Our sponsor for this episode, they're here. We're fucking interviewing them right now.
This is a very cool secret society. I'm called secret.
It's a secret. It's a big secret, but it's not.
It's the guys from Don't Tell Comedy. Actually, guys and babes. Hello.
Both babes, yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, please introduce yourselves.
So my name's Nick, and I'm actually the lead producer for Don't Tell Comedy Las Vegas.
And my name is Rachel, and I'm the assistant producer for Don't Tell Comedy Las Vegas.
All right.
Okay, so can you explain Don't Tell Comedy to our listeners who might not know what Don't Tell Comedy is? They're like, why aren't we talking about comedy?
Yeah.
Why don't we tell about it?
Yeah.
Well, Don't Tell Comedy alone is like this secret underground society of comedy fans. You know, and I know she's saying society, and I love saying that alone. But we thrive off of like a basic concept, and it's secret comedians, secret locations, and it's BYOB. Now we happen to be in Vegas, which is really cool.
Because Don't Tell Comedy has been in like New York, LA, Chicago, I do believe.
Yes. They're actually based off in LA. Like our founder Kyle actually started doing all the shows in Los Angeles, and now that we found an audience in Vegas, now I was kind of passed this torch to like produce the shows, and I'm more than honored to do it.
So
and
awesome.
It lit the fireplace tonight.
Thank you.
I'm so excited because obviously MJ and I are both huge fans of comedy, and I'm a huge fan of comedians.
Yeah,
there we go. That's the spirit.
There she really is.
The struggle is real, guys.
But what's really cool is you guys put on so Rachel, you guys do like secret events once a month. Now how does that go?
We try to do twice a month,
okay,
if not more. We did have like a little shadow for October, but we're picking back up.
That's because everybody was throwing Halloween parties.
Yeah, it was a busy month for sure. So yeah, we try to do it twice a month. Saturdays usually.
Okay.
Good time. Yeah.
And you have a show coming up. It's going to be on November 16th. It's a Saturday night.
It is actually going to be on November 16th, and I will just kind of give this sneak peek because I can't necessarily give too much away, but it's in a very unique location that at least Las Vegas has never done.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I think that just kind of like adds to this excitement where we're like, hey guys, like you've been to our shows before, like now come to this one because this is literally something we have never done.
Very awesome. Keepers, I will be there hanging out.
I'm going too.
Yeah, MJ and I, we're going to be there. We're
I'm
going to be
bringing
hanging
Chris.
out.
Yes.
Chris will be there so you can come see the sexy Elvis.
Yes. And so if people want to get tickets to this event on November 16th, is there like, do they go and buy tickets, and is there a certain time frame? Because you got moms and dads, got to get babysitters. Like, what's that like?
So you can go onto don'ttellcomedy.com. I can't speak.
That's okay. Neither can we.
already.
and tequila shots. Yep.
Yeah, don'ttellcomedy.com, and they can go to Las Vegas. They'll find the tickets to purchase there.
Cool.
And pre-plan for November 16th.
Generally speaking, our times range from 7:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
On rare occasions, we'll change it, but 7:30, the doors open. 8 o'clock, latest 8:05, our show starts, and it goes up until 9:30. So you're still able to go fuck shit up like after 9:30.
Yes, BYOB, no 2-drink minimum or anything like
no
that.
No 2-drink minimum.
Amazing. I've been to a Don't Tell comedy show, and I have to say, you guys treated me like I was royalty, and I was so honored.
We treat everyone
she loved
like royalty.
Yes.
Damn it! Now I don't feel as special.
But when Bree rolled in, for sure, we're gonna have to bring some like Keeping It Casual podcast flasks to Don't Tell Comedy.
I definitely put your
water bottle on stage, so every shot has a Keeping It Casual logo in it.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I felt so like I honestly like I felt so loved and so honored being there. Like I walked in, Rachel came up and hugged me, and then you came after the show and you were like, tell me, did you like it though? Like I was like I was a critic or something.
Yeah, well, the thing is like I like to take my. I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, I have to take my show serious. I have to be this like pretentious guy, but like,
no, you do.
I want to know what my audience is reacting to. I'm like, hey, like, is there something that we can improve? Like, is there something that you liked about the show? Something you didn't like? Because I'm taking notes as a producer, and Rachel's always by me, also taking notes.
And we honestly have so many repeat customers that come back because they liked it before. And so we're kind of starting to get to know our audience and what they like and who's going to be where. And it's just really nice to be able to like have that community, and they're telling their friends and they come back with their husbands. And it's just really nice to have like this local underground thing for us. Yeah, it's really fun.
That's what happened. Bree went, and now I'm going, and I'm bringing Chris, and he's going to bring his friend.
As soon as the next day I called her, and I was like, girl, oh my God, I had the best time.
Actually, there was this something that happened directly after that show, and I think, Bree, it was the show that you went to.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we had went to an IHOP, and I actually happened to be recognized from the show. Like, they're like,
awesome.
You're the Don't Tell Comedy guy. Like, and you know when you can see like a side glance and you're like, someone's looking at me. Yeah. And you just don't want to look back because you're like, I'm not trying to have that awkward confrontation. But like, he looked and he's like, I was just at your show last night. And I'm like, holy shit, like, thank you so much. Like, that's so cool. And he was sitting by his wife, who she still looked plastered, which most of our guests, are always plastered at the end. Like, they come up and they're like, oh, I want to do this show. And I'm like,
she's like,
be
I'm drunk
sober.
since yesterday.
Like, it's so much fun to watch people come in, like stroll in with like their ice chest and
Bree just shoved the mic to Rachel's face.
I know.
Way far away.
This is new to me.
Get on it like you're sucking a dick, girlfriend.
Okay.
But try not. You know what? I was reading something about like, don't grip it like this. You kind of want to just lightly
So don't
hold
grip it like
yeah.
a dick and then put it to my mouth like it's a dick and then we're good. Okay.
Exactly.
You want to hold it more with the fingers rather than gripping
like,
it with your
Have you ever
palm.
watched Christina Aguilera live, how she daintily holds the microphone?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's holding it with her fingertips.
Yes.
And she always taps on it because she's keeping time.
It's not pretentious. That's her mic holding skill set.
And Bree's been doing that since the beginning.
Bree was grabbing it like a big dick for a while. Had to keep slapping her hand.
No, actually, when we started this podcast, I did not hold a microphone.
Nope, they were just like stationed nicely at the radio station we were spoiled using.
We were spoiled, and then we got unspoiled.
So I've been listening to your podcast for quite a while. Since day one, I've caught up.
Thank you.
And I just died because I felt like I knew Bree before I actually met her. So she's come to the show, and we're like, let's get drinks after. So we go, and it's just so funny because she doesn't know me, but like I feel like I know you guys because I listen to you. So like I'm just open, like, hey, let's talk about like sex. And so I'm like,
yeah, let's do it.
I'm like, so tell me about the coconut trick. And then I'm like, is that a capital N or a lowercase? Like, I need to know more.
I feel like a cursive N.
Tribal.
Yeah.
It was like, at this point, I need to come on here for tips. I'm just hearing all these three women talk in front of me, and I'm like, what is this coconut trick that we're talking about?
Okay, we need your tips as well because we've had very few gentlemen that usually come up as a couples or as one of our single men at one of our pop-up events or the live event. But we're going to get to some getting to know you stuff too. But
beautiful.
First, we wanted to ask because I think this is something a lot of people can relate to. We just had a live show, our second live show. It sold out. It was bananas. We had all these little things that maybe technical things or this and that
went wrong.
It made me kind of a spaz, but at the end it was so great. But I'm sure having these locations that you're not it's not something you do all the time. Every pop-up event is new. Yeah. So what are some funny events? And I think like women that are planning their weddings or maybe bachelorette parties or just any surprise party for their boyfriend or their mom, something always goes wrong when you do big events. Is there a time when like little things went wrong that you can remember that you just turned out phenomenal? regardless.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to take the lead on this because our shows are always like some type of Bridezilla episode.
Who's the Bridezilla? Are you?
I am.
Me too.
And it's because like, they're like, who's running this show? It's the sweaty guy running back and forth, moving the same chair.
Sweat. It's brutal.
The thing is like Rachel and I, like, again, we have to deal with these like unconventional locations, and so we're like,
and the comedians
and
too.
the comedians, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And so we're like, where the fuck is the extension cord? Where's the plug? You know, like
always.
And the thing is, like, we always
Somebody show me the plug.
and we look at
Everybody's
each other and we're sweating, like we're dripping in sweat, and I'm like, I'm wiping my face, and I'm like, wait, I have to go on and like open this show, and Rachel sees me at the beginning, and I'm like,
Nick, shall you
sweat.
tell them about our alley show?
The alley show was particularly special on my end, and I only say that because I took it so serious, and that was one of the biggest chemistry moments that Rachel and I ever had, because I, as the producer, was trying to take control of this. So, like, I'm not going to cancel the show because we have 45 people waiting in line. I'm not going to say you guys have to just go home. The venue was double booked, and we were like, we're not canceling this.
There was like 400 16-year-olds in this building.
Yeah, and we were like, we're not just gonna back out. And so Rachel is looking at me, like, and I'm tapping my elbow, and Rachel's like, calm down, I got this. And I'm like, no, dude, I want to flip out on everyone here. Who booked this? Like, who's in charge of this? And we went ahead and we were like, look, if you have, electrical outlets in the back, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this Don't Tell comedy in your alleyway.
There was like a thing, there was like a prom going on or something, a ton of teenagers.
It was like the finals for like basketball.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. And then, there was, why the show is going on, we hear music. So I'm knocking on businesses, and it's like a church, and they're practicing for their Sunday morning.
Rachel really went
and
there.
Oh no.
I'm like knocking on the door. I'm like,
shut it down.
I'm so sorry, but can you like be quiet for 30 minutes? I promise. Come out back, watch the show.
She's like,
just
shut
please.
the fuck up.
Yeah,
don't wanna hear
I know
this.
that, but like I'm always
I
so
feel like
polite.
she has that finesse. I feel like she's a good balance. I
They
feel like
came
you guys,
out,
I
they
can hear the
watched, it was
balance.
I
great.
can hear the balance too.
Yeah.
It's very us.
Rachel is definitely my balance, and I say that because per almost every show that we've done, she's always had this like small picture of wine ready to give me, and we can all laugh at that, but like at that moment, I needed it so much because I was freaking out, and I'm like, as the producer, I'm like, I don't want this show, like I don't want my shows to fail. I don't want to make it seem like I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't want
And
it to be hit or miss. You want it to be consistent every time.
Yeah,
I understand.
People are depending on you, and it's up to you. You're the final person that has to say this is happening or it's not.
Yeah, and so we were given
no
this,
backing down.
We were given this alleyway, with a bunch of like chairs and garbage everywhere, and we had
It was bad. Like I had to cover a giant. It's like one of those soda machines, but like from the 90s. That's just like random. I covered it with sheets.
cans?
Yeah, I just covered it with sheets.
She did.
And I'm just like, this is just in the back. And there was like a
We don't
random
care about
ladder
this.
in like all of the photos that like I don't know where that came from,
Everything.
but okay.
And we're literally putting this show together, right? And we, at one point, I remember telling one of our volunteers, and just an FYI, we definitely take volunteers at Don't Tell Comedy. Like the more help, the merrier. Like,
Up and
the
coming
more-
entrepreneur
Keepers.
comedians
Exactly.
want to get
the
learning
more,
a
the more
show.
the merrier. But I remember sending one of those volunteers. I'm like, go get bistro lighting. We just need bistro lighting. Like, we'll try to make this an aesthetic because every Don't Tell Comedy looks like an aesthetic,
Yeah.
And so she goes, she gets it, and I remember those lights fall. They literally go.
They
Oh
were
my
glass.
God.
They
So
were
every
glass.
time they
were just-
fell, they would shatter, and it sounded so intense
Oh,
that you were like,
And so Rachel's looking at me, and Rachel's like, "You still have that wine?" And I'm like, "Okay." And I do want to note, and this is something that I've pretty much never said out loud, probably to Rachel, but that was the first show that my parents have ever went to.
Oh
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am super serious about this. Where my parents were like, "Why is this in an alleyway? Like, why did we just walk in and are about to be killed?"
No.
I do have to give a shout out to your parents and your entire family every time they come to the show. They're incredible. They help out so much at the end. They're just like amazing people. You
I
are
have
a lucky
brother
guy.
that goes to practically every show. This is like his
Is
Saturday.
that the one that I met?
Eddie,
Probably.
yeah.
Yes.
Remember he got called out. It was so good.
Yes.
So Eddie happens to go to practically all the shows, and he always helps me at the end. But this show in particular, Rachel saw me, and we were like, we're gonna start the show. We started packing up the alleyway. Dogs were fucking barking. Things were moving.
There
in
was
the trees.
a cat that was walking across, trying to get on the bistro lighting, and I'm just like, no, alley cat, go.
She was gonna and the thing was Rachel went ahead and reminded me that hey, you have this wine. So right before we're gonna put the show on, I pounded my wine. I pounded that little bottle, and I'm like, let's go. And I think everyone saw me. Everyone watched me pound the wine, and we're like, we know what this guy is going through.
You're all sweaty, just
I'm sweating. I pounded the wine.
We
and I'm
need interns just to do his powder.
Yeah,
Powder him,
exactly.
just be like, Nick, hold on, let's plot you.
well, if you ever need a makeup artist on call, you got me.
There
okay?
we go. See, and I remember pounding that wine, and I went right on that little stage that we managed to get, and I was like, welcome to Don't Tell Comedy, everyone. And Rachel's like, let's go. Let's go.
Matt O'Brien and his wife that night, and they were
Julia.
incredible. They were like,
Oh.
I believe they were mentioning that they finally got to do a Las Vegas show, and it was in an alley. And, I'm sure they felt very confident in that.
Well, that's okay. Maybe the comedians can all come. Maybe we could do Don't Tell Comedy at Pole Fitness Studio.
That
And
would
we
be-
could see.
that space
You know we
is
could.
amazing,
see
actually.
what
Hey.
comedian can pole dance.
Hold on.
I want to
Please hold for the...
Yes,
There you go.
Rachel, do you need a little...
do.
Fill it up, Bree.
I do. I need
Slide
that.
down,
Here, well,
slide
I-
that way. Do you need some wine?
I do know that at that show, something that was very special about that, and I will never forget this, is that I was so stressed out at that show. I was I felt like everything was going wrong. But that show was actually the first show that Don't Tell Comedy featured on their official Instagram.
And
for
I
Las
still
Vegas.
get compliments about that show. It was hilarious.
No,
And it was in an alley.
It was in an alley, and I was stressed, and I'm like, Don't Tell Comedy. I know, a couple days later, we're like, we could do it. Don't Tell Comedy anywhere. Las Vegas proved that we can do it in an alley, and I'm like,
true.
I was dying on that.
Honestly, it was one of our best shows.
That's amazing.
That's
Jason
huge.
Krychek, I believe.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Jason Krychek. Yeah,
I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He was on that show. Perfect for that situation.
perfect for the situation.
That's amazing. I mean, I saw it at a salon.
At a hair salon.
At a hair salon, and I was just like, how are we going to do a comedy show at a hair salon? Well, first off, it was hard as fuck to find that salon, by the way.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
The directions are quite
Well, 'cause
tedious.
as soon
The
as I
pleasure of
got
Don't
there-
Tell Comedy. It's very secret.
It is very secret. So I got there, and I was at a puppy poodle parlor, and all the lights were off, and I'm looking in, I'm like, this can't be it. So I'm driving around that parking lot, and then finally I see a bunch of people standing out, and I was like, that has to be it. I felt like I honestly felt like I was looking for an Illuminati show, like an Illuminati meeting. I was
Welcome to Don't Tell Comedy.
Surprise.
I love it. You guys, we're refilling our micheladas and our wine. Nick
Yeah.
is
Can I
drinking
have
a
a
red.
little? Do you need some tahini?
Yes.
Can I have a little clamato?
little
please?
clamato. We've
Yes.
got our limes.
Okay,
got
so
our
this is what
tahini.
I love watching the balance between the two of you because it definitely reminds me of my co-host and I. Last week we put on our second live show, the Alternative Babe Show, and fucking A, dude, everything that could go wrong probably went wrong, but we pulled it off. I don't remember.
I'm still hungover.
She's still hungover from it. I don't much remember the show
it
because
all
I
came
was
out
on
fine.
such autopilot that
I bet.
Yeah. But all the sound and a lot of the stuff ended up kind of stuff I kind of had to figure out.
Yeah.
So it was on me, and my husband's usually there, and he was sick, so it was just me Bree's like, what can I do? I was like, go put your costume on.
she's like, you can't do anything. Go put your fucking costume on.
No,
And I was
just-
like, all right.
Please do every other thing, but let me just deal with the sound and this bullshit.
You sound like me at a Don't Tell Comedy
Yeah,
show
for
because
sure, that's
you
Nick.
know.
We feel
Absolutely.
like we're the
But I
calm
do
ones
have
and they're
to
the
say,
freak out.
You are.
being in the event industry, I would never have known that you guys were having any issues
Okay.
whatsoever. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Oh, yay!
My boyfriend, who is not a huge fan, he doesn't listen to dating podcasts like I do, I suppose. He
As
loved
many.
it. He asked when the next one was. He had a blast. Ashley Baker Hoover had him rolling.
Phenomenal, yes.
She's so good.
She's from an entertainment podcast on This Day
Entertainment.
And then Brittney and Justine from It's About Damn Crime came out as the black and white swans.
That's amazing.
They were black swan and white swan. So let me tell you, I've got to say I'm a little jealous because we're not that big yet, but we're getting there. I saw all these like podcasters where people were dressing up as them for Halloween.
I know.
And I was like, nobody dressed up as MJ and I. But next year,
it's coming.
we're dressing up as
Rachel and I are probably going to do a keeping it casual for Halloween.
But
at the next
I think we should dress up as Justine and Brittney next year. I'm going to be Justine, you be Brittney.
Let's do it.
I think this is a great idea.
We're all going to come as like our friends, our favorite dynamic duos or something.
Yes.
We were already like planning our costume last week for next
year.
year.
Yeah, we were like, how do we top the two broke girls? Like, because we did the...
I saw that. I saw the two
good.
broke girls. I was like, I immediately double tapped on that because I was like, this is amazing.
Thank you.
We were like, how can we top this? How can we top this?
And you guys were so hot. Like, ridiculous.
Totally.
I pulled my...
Those
unzipped
boobs.
my tits were out so
They were
far.
so
But I bet
great.
you were very proud.
Yes.
I was walking around like, tits out 2019.
Let's go.
Big titty energy. Rachel, you and your man were a tag team wrestling duo.
Yeah, we got second place. We
did?
won eyelashes.
You're going to get
And
some eyelash extensions.
Yeah, I'm
I love
very
it.
excited if you
Yes.
don't notice.
I think Justin would love those eyelashes.
yeah.
She's incredible. Like
Yes.
Janelle's incredible. She
perfect.
goes to your house and she's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So they won because we did a costume
Get
contest.
Lashed by Jan comes to you.
So what was your tag team duo from
So
wrestling?
we were the Young Bucks from AEW. Don't let me geek out right now because it will
Let
happen.
her geek out.
Give it.
Yeah, so we were the Young Bucks, and we're a tag team partner, brothers, and yeah,
It was so hot.
Yeah,
I was like, who are these two? I love you so much.
So
I didn't even know that was you until the end. She told
and I was
me.
like, that's Rachel. So funny because everyone's like, oh, she's gonna dress like skimpy for work, and I like show up with like sideburns and stuff. I'm like,
the hottest man.
I loved
of all
it. Well, you
time.
know what? I got to tell you, Rachel, though, because I felt so special at the Don't Tell comedy show. When I saw you, that's how my friend Andrew came over to you. I was like, that's Rachel from Don't Tell Comedy, and you will treat her with respect.
That is beautiful.
and
That's
he was just like,
amazing.
I'm going to go talk to her.
and he knew the wrestling stuff because when we went up,
Yeah,
there was
he's
like
a
a
big
chant,
wrestling
and it's like,
fan.
the elite. So he was like, the elite, and I was like, this guy,
Oh,
my
man.
guy.
He invited me over one Monday night to his apartment. He was like, I made dinner, like come over, hang out. Like I was gonna help him like decorate a little bit because he's a single bachelor and he needs to know how to make his apartment look not like he's about to murder you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And as the girl bestie, I step in and I'm like, okay, put this here, put that here. And then he was like, wrestling's gonna be on, and we were watching Jeopardy, and then he was like, oh, it's almost time for wrestling, and I was like, and he tried to get me to watch it, but I was like, I think it's time for me to leave now.
But I'm all Total Divas. Like I watch Total Divas like
love
nobody's
it.
business. Oh, forget it. Don't get me started.
Can we not get like Renee? Like, what is
We
going
want Renee on this podcast
Renee,
so much.
podcast,
come on.
Regular Girls.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Regular Girls?
Yeah.
I love her show. She lives in Vegas. Damn it, Renee. We already
Renee,
get friends.
girls,
I'm
come
kind
on,
of inspired keeping it casual. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I was such a huge WWE fan growing
Uh-huh.
up. Like, it may not seem like it, but I died for Raw, for SmackDown, for the draft, for
Really?
No, like, my crush forever was Trish Stratus. I was like, she still exists, you know, like Tori Wilson. The thing was, is like, I remember the divas from back then, so I watch Raw and SmackDown now, and I'm like, who is this? I'm like, Stephanie McMahon still exists, and she looks like, whoa. WWE has like evolutionized.
Their makeup artists are on point. They're extreme.
And Rachel has a dog named Jericho, Corgi. Let's talk about this Corgi for a little bit. Like, I'm obsessed with her dog.
He's so cute. I've not met him in person.
Me
but
either.
He
and I work with her
actually
all
got
the
to
time.
meet Chris
You've seen
Jericho
Instagram
at
star?
Sia Records here in Las Vegas. And
That's amazing.
yeah, and he's named after him. And we walked by him. I'm like, that's your goddad. And he was like Instagramming live at the moment. And he's like, what? And I'm like, this is Jericho. Hi, Jericho.
Hi, Jericho.
He's
I'm Rachel from
perfect.
Don't Tell Comedy.
Amazing.
That almost felt like somebody dresses him for Halloween. He's like, I like it.
Yeah,
I'll take
it. Was
it.
amazing.
Look,
Wait.
I heard.
Wait, what did you do for Halloween? What were you? What did you dress
so,
as?
Like, check this out. I'm just gonna throw this out. yesterday I had mentioned to like my parents, I was like, look, I don't think I'm gonna go trick-or-treating with you guys. And my mom was like, you're fucking 24 years old. You're not gonna go trick-or-treating with us. And I'm like, wait, what? And like, let me call your dad. And then
she guilt tripped you into trick-or-treating?
No, check this out. She calls my dad and she goes, your 24-year-old son is like, I'm not gonna go
I'm
trick-or-treating.
too old for trick-or-treating, Mom and Dad.
He's telling us he's not gonna go trick-or-treating with us anymore. And my dad's like, wait, what? He's not gonna. I'm like, Dad, you know what? I'm 24. I'm just trying to go to an X-rated haunted house. I'm trying to die.
You're like, I'm just trying to go to the gates of hell.
Yeah.
Shout out JT.
And
Shout out Freakling Brothers.
And
JT's so hot.
And that's exactly what I did. But that did not stop me from like getting home and noticing that my little brother and little cousins had candy just sitting on the table, and I was like, I like Butterfingers. I like Kit Kats.
See, it's all about the tax. Did you do parent tax on your children?
I was eating the whole time. I just strolled around the neighborhood. People infiltrate to come into this neighborhood and like go trick-or-treating. Like they line the streets. We have security. It's a big deal.
That's okay. Auntie Bree brought in whatever tax you took. I came in today and I was like, I got candy for these kids because I don't want it at my house.
That's right.
I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of like this meme where people are like, or this like news article where people are like, make sure to check your bags because people are giving edibles to your kids. I'm like,
nobody's giving fucking edibles.
Gives an edible away? Like I paid $45 for that to give to a fucking kid.
They're saving that for themselves.
You're shady packaging. It's not M&M or Snickers. Get out of here, okay?
Exactly.
I'm not a mom, but like to each their own. Like chill out.
Why would I give it? Why would I give away an edible?
I'm not giving away any of my edibles. Those stay. You know what? I'm actually really lucky that my dogs never have gotten into my edibles.
Oh my God.
No, but you know what? My husky ate a bottle of muscle relaxers once.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
That was a $7. You remember that? Remember I was like,
more
I have
concerned about that than
$700 vet bill.
Oh my God.
I remember I told you about
Yes,
that.
I
Did your
remember
dog
that.
like OD?
No, she just went to. It was a $700 vet bill. She stayed overnight at the vet, and like they just gave her charcoal so she could shit it all out.
Wow.
But like I was like, I paid $700. I could have given her active charcoal myself. Like what?
Oh God. Yeah.
Dumbass dog.
Keep your edibles in a very high drawer away from all the children and
Don't let your
animals.
roommates break into your muscle relaxers because they'll leave them on the counter and your husky will get them.
And don't give kids edibles on Halloween. Give them to me. What the fuck?
Yeah. If there's a 24-year-old trick-or-treater, that's where you slip the edibles.
That's where you're like, this guy looks like he needs an edible. He's sweating.
If you're at Don't Tell Comedy, give Nick a little bit of an edible. I actually have a funny story about
edible,
edibles.
red wine, and bring the blots.
I have
paper blots.
You're talking about Rachel Bowman here, who's my assistant producer and brings all of that?
All the wine.
I actually have a group of friends that came into this that live in a country where weed is not legal. So they came to Vegas for a concert and they were like, we want to go to the dispensary. And I was like, oh God, really? Like, that's what you want to do? You're in Vegas and you want to go to the dispensary. All right, I'll take it.
There's a dispensary at every corner,
It
pretty
is.
much.
So we
We're
went
already
to
jaded.
We went to the
It's fine.
dispensary. They all bought a bunch of edibles and then they were taking these big ass pieces and they don't smoke weed. And I was like, bros.
Bree was like, what are you doing?
I was like, as your stoner friend, I'm going to tell you, don't do that. And they were like, no, it's fine. Like,
Tastes fine.
one of them was like,
Exactly.
I'm a big guy. Like, and I was like, I promise you, cut that in half. And if you don't feel anything in like an hour and a half, then
That is key.
have more.
You're such a friend because I would never tell my friends that. I'm like, take that shit, bitch.
Eat
Let's
that
see what
whole
happens.
I was
round.
going to a concert with them, and I didn't want to go to a concert with a bunch of fucking like
Zoned out.
zoned out and
people
it
in
was
fetal
like,
positions.
Yeah, right.
They're just like, my legs have stopped.
I can't. What is it?
Carry
What did he
me.
have in Ted 2? Like, I can't find my way home. Like something
God.
like that. Like a strain like that.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I didn't want. And they were like, no, we're fine. And I was like, all right, that's your funeral. And then they were all like, oh, we should have listened to you. And I was like, I fucking told you. Like,
Gotta take
obviously,
it in pieces.
We're gonna stay here. We're gonna stay in the room. We're not
You're
going.
a true friend.
I
It's
can't do it. I
something
can't do it. I can't make it.
But see, you were that friend that offered that piece of advice.
I offered that piece of advice, and then they didn't listen. And then I ended up at a fucking buffet with them. And Vegas locals, how often do we go to buffets?
Never.
Never.
But I bet that buffet
That's
was
like a
fucking
Reno
fire.
thing.
It was good for them, I guess. For me, I was like, I don't want to pay $30 for this. So are you guys Okay, good.
We're talking about Rio buffets here, when like Texas Station and like Fiesta.
Yeah.
exists, and they're like $12.
We were at Mandalay
okay.
Bay, so
Now
it was
you
like
go.
it was like a $30 Mandalay Bay buffet.
It has to have crab legs. If it doesn't have crab legs,
I
crab
agree.
outta
The
here.
M, the M has
The Inn has the
yeah.
best because you can get all you can drink mimosas and
Oh,
beer there
yes.
too.
there you go.
Ooh,
If
and
you're
all
gonna
you can drink mimosas just sounds like amazing.
The-
But then again,
the
I'm pounding
sunset
wine right now.
mimosa.
if you're gonna
yes.
if you're gonna buffet, guys, that's where you got to do it. All right, guys, let's get into
Let's
our
get
getting
into
to
our
know
game.
you.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna
Getting
pass
to
the
know
questions.
you.
Nick, since you are our
Getting to
first
know.
honorary official fire pit session
Yes.
gentleman, I
Yes.
want you to start. So you're
She's
gonna read
a
the question.
gentleman.
We're all
I'm a
gonna.
lady.
He's a boy.
We're all ladies here.
I'm a boy.
He's
and
a boy.
okay, wait. I
Yeah.
want to mix this around.
Mix
Okay.
it around, and then we'll all kind of chime in, and then you pass it to your. Well, what is it? Move it on your left, or pass it to the right. I forgot.
Is that a
Whatever you
song?
want.
Pass
Go
the duchy on
on
your
the
left hand. All right.
side.
Pass it to me after that. That's right. Move it on your left. You never know. Method Man said go
My
left.
hussy's on Broadway.
Okay, I have picked one out.
All
I
right.
picked
Okay.
the first one out, but I'm like, I don't know how to answer that,
Let's
so I'm
go.
going to pick another
Okay,
one out
good,
while they're
good,
talking.
good. No worries.
Okay, so it says, what album can you listen to from start to finish?
As we just got done singing all of our favorite rap lyrics.
That look, like I'm not insanely into like pop music or anything.
That's
I love
fine.
rap music. I
Good.
love R&B, but like I listen to Frank Ocean's Blonde,
Oh,
and I
yes.
become such a little bitch.
That's so good.
No, and I say that with such high confidence because like it starts off with Nikes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna ever finish this. Like this is gonna go on repeat. But like Frank Ocean's Blonde has done such a number on me growing up. Like you know,
Ocean
in
makes
my
some
own
good
bo-
sex music too, guys.
No. Check this out. I'm
Yes,
Bree,
look at how
no,
excited he got.
Bree, no, I'm gonna like definitely elaborate on that. You cannot have sex with anybody on Frank Ocean if you do not know them, if you don't have a special connection. Like,
Oh,
not gonna,
yeah.
I'm not gonna do a hookup and like play Frank
No.
Ocean.
What are you going to play in your hookup?
We are
Booty, rocking everywhere.
She called it out.
Oh, no, so maybe some Chet Faker.
Chet
No
Faker.
diggity.
She's talking about like Flume. You know what? I play some Travis
I
Scott.
feel you.
I play some
Some
Travis Scott.
Scott.
Some Travis Scott because I'm not trying to think about this and I will forget about it tomorrow.
Sicko
Was a
mode?
pool.
Okay.
No,
I
and
feel you.
so, yeah,
But I feel you. He's like, I'm not breaking
right.
out the Frank Ocean unless
No,
I'm
you
into
break out-
you.
that's
and I take
That's
that
some
very
soul music.
serious. Like I
Yes.
swear, I would not play Frank Ocean.
Mm.
Maybe some SZA, but like you have to be a little bit more
Ooh,
special with
SZA.
SZA. But like SZA is definitely
Damn.
that sex music. Like
Shoot.
you listen to SZA and you're in
See,
that.
my
bitch.
sex music is like Lana Del Rey.
Wait, fuck yeah, Norman
I like
fucking
that.
Rockwell. I would never fuck
Yes.
anyone to that album because I'll cry.
Lana Del Rey, we listen to them all the time, you and I.
I'm like, who?
I'm so
I hate
anxious.
that.
I'm like,
It's like
ooh.
cheap. Beer
Witchy,
tongue.
hold on. I'm like, I've been drinking, so I don't know. Hold on, let me pull up the sex playlist.
Rachel, go. Sex
Sex
music.
Sex music.
This is
Oh,
what
so
the
we went
questions
from
evolved
yeah,
to.
we have
We went to
turned
which
into the-
album do
Unless
you
a
like?
song, whichever question you
okay.
feel compelled to answer first.
You know, I would say the best sex I've had is to Bastille, which is very weird.
She's like Pompeii.
Yeah,
I
no,
gotta be,
like,
convinced about
Dun,
it.
dun, dun, dun.
Portishead.
Oh,
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 little glory box by Portishead.
What type of sex is that? I'm interested. 'cause
What?
That's
You don't know
very-
about
Slow
it?
and simple.
Portishead?
To Portishead?
It's dirty and gritty and like
Let's-
trip
yeah, let's
hoppy. Oh yes.
bringing it
See? Yes.
to love you.
See, I
Give
thought,
me a
like,
reason
I didn't know-
to be
Like,
a woman.
Portishead, like, is just
Yes.
on some level. Like,
All right, yeah. He's like, I don't know if I'm there yet. He
Oh,
needs to
this
know
is
the
like
vibe
making
words.
love music.
Yeah,
A
okay.
little Khalid.
I like
a
some-
little.
you know what,
Smashing Pumpkins.
some
It's
Tom
you
York
that
can be really
I
sexy.
Oh,
adore.
yes.
Some
I
Tom
agree.
York.
Tom
he had
York.
like Black Swan.
I lost my
remix.
virginity to Radiohead, so I mean.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
I
fuck
envy
music
don't
all
wanna
the way.
know
so
mine.
much.
Okay, what is it? What was
Mine
it? Wait.
was Blue Eyes by Limp Bizkit.
I love Limp Bizkit, and I love it so much.
Okay, so
Rachel said that with such confidence. I want to be
so
her.
embarrassing.
I lost my virginity to Karma Police
Okay.
by Radiohead.
The fact that you said Limp Bizkit needs to take me to that album, I'm sorry, $3 bill, Significant Other, that whole album was like, I would just go so hard. When I was like 19, I was like, yeah, you wait, baby, you still ain't as real as a $3 bill. I was just like, so, I don't know who I thought I was. I was like, don't mess
in
with
seventh
me.
grade, we dressed up as Rollin' girls. Like we dressed up as the Nookie girls.
The Nookie
And in
girls
eighth
with the
grade,
Nookie.
we dressed up as the Rollin' girls. For
And then
Halloween.
we had
I love
sex.
you so much.
Yeah,
No,
eighth grade. Yeah, no, I was
No.
22.
Good for you. I was. I can't
Yikes.
remember if I was 17 or 18 because it happened right around my 18th birthday. But I was
Are we
definitely
talking virginity ages?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
You
But
don't have to go there.
She's like, let's just like,
R.
let's
Kelly
move
was
on.
involved, so
My
yeah.
mind's
shit.
telling me
Yeah,
no.
just the music.
All right, so actually, we've talked about sex music.
Nick
do you
gave me the
have an
hint.
album,
Let's
MJ,
move
that,
in.
like as
I
somebody
just said
who's
Limp
I met
Bizkit, man.
working in radio? Do you have an album like that you're like from beginning to end?
I just said
love
Limp
this.
Bizkit. And
Please don't say Limp Bizkit.
All right, Cypress Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
The whole album.
Oh.
X Factor is my jam.
Who?
X Factor.
Oh.
It could all be so simple,
Oh.
but you'd rather make it hard.
Oh,
Those
Like a
pipes.
battle.
No, I just want to like throw this little story out here because I know that just a couple minutes ago I had mentioned SZA. In July,
do love
I had
SZA.
went to France, right?
Good for
And
you.
no, I was like, fuck yeah, like I want to go,
Yeah.
I
Humble
want
brag,
to
jealous.
absorb the art, I want to like absorb Picasso, but then I also opened up my Tinder account, and I did not give a single fuck because I had my own hotel. Yes. It's like
Was
it's
it
right.
a fuck? Was it a sex vacation?
Questions.
Look,
Let's
guys,
do that.
it's right by the fucking Louvre. Like, this is some shit. The person like that was talking to me on Tinder, he's like, "You're right by the Louvre," and I'm like, "I am right by the Louvre. Like, come through." But the thing was like, you know, when you're like waiting and you're like, "Oh my god, why did I just talk to someone on Tinder? And why are they coming up?
They're coming.
And why are they calling me right now?" They're like, "What floor are you on again?" I'm like, "Fuck, what am I doing?" But the thing was
Be
like,
a slut.
Put the SZA on.
I give like no fucks. And so, and look, you just literally brought up the next part of the story. I'm like, wait, I'm not gonna just have this like awkward because this is like
You need
my
music.
first time like hooking up with a Frenchman, and boom, the bomb was dropped, and I was like,
Was
you know
it?
what? I was like, I'm going to play. Are
I
you gonna
just
say
give a
Frank
look.
Ocean? It was not. No one has been given that honorary like award yet. But
You have to
it was
earn
SZA.
that.
It
You
was
earned
SZA.
Frank
I
Ocean.
played the SZA album, and I'm like, "Do you know what this music is?" He's like, "I don't even know what language you're speaking," and I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, "Okay, this is SZA, and you know she's a fucking phenomenal R&B artist, but like, you know, we're here for one thing and one thing only, right?"
Let's bang.
He's like, voulez-vous coucher? Is it moi? I don't even know.
And my boner popped out of my
Yeah.
pants.
All right.
I love it so much.
Yes.
I love it so much.
Next
oh my god.
question.
Rachel, please.
Yes.
We're gonna have our guest pick. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, Rachel, I'm so excited.
In a relationship, what was something you pretended to like but didn't?
Oh shit, an orgasm.
My ex's comedy.
Yes.
Okay.
Bree's like looking at me like, jump in on this.
They don't know who my ex is. They just know he's a comedian. So
So not
It's
funny
me.
comedians
She's looking
are
right at me.
always funny.
All right. So yeah, you know, you started dating. Are you in a relationship?
I am.
Okay. So something happened in the beginning where you're like, I guess I can be into this. I'm gonna try it, but I hate it.
You know,
he doesn't listen, so it's okay.
that is true. Like, I feel like he's
Rachel.
gonna chime in on this one.
You know what?
He's
Now
not
he's gonna
huge
listen.
into like dating podcasts, but I would say just in general, like he is always on sports, whether it's baseball, basketball, football,
My
wrestling.
guy.
Like it's nonstop.
See, but
So-
that's
Sports
not the kind of
guy.
guy I could date. That's the kind of guy I just want to hang out and drink beers with and
He's
watch
like
sports. Like
a weird sports guy, but he's also like plays guitar and is like super
Yeah.
nerdy. Like he's just a very. My sister's like, I don't know how to describe your boyfriend.
Like my dad, and I love every second.
Yeah, like
quick input. I want to go off the record and say Justin is one of my favorite people.
he's
I
he's a
I
pretty
met
great
him at the
guy.
live show. I immediately was like, "Oh my god, you have so much spunk, and I love your energy."
I met him at Don't Tell
Kidding?
Comedy, and he was like, "You want to sit with us?"
He's like, want a White Claw?
Are you? Justin gave me a white cloth. He's like, you
He's
look like
all
you
about
need this. I'm like, Rachel already gave me a wine, but I'm
he
down.
gave me a
Yeah.
white. He was like, "You want a white claw?" And I was like, "I'm not a basic bitch. I'm sorry."
Girl, he couples costumed with you. That's
He
the
did.
Yes, I love
And
that.
I would have to say though, like it got to the point like where I would sit and watch football all the time with him, and I don't mind watching a Niners game here and there because I'm from Northern California. But now we'll go to the Miller's Ale
Her
House.
and
And I'm like,
Janelle
hey,
vibe so well.
I'm gonna bounce out and shop around Town Square. You hang here. I'll be
Thank
back
you.
in like 4
Thank
hours.
you.
Thank
and
you.
I love that. I love that so much.
But he understands.
You and Chris. come
Oh,
on.
okay. So when I first met Chris, he rode dirt bikes, right? So they love to like go out to the sand and just
Oh,
camp.
the dunes?
Yeah,
Like, I am not camping.
they love to go to the dunes and
Nice.
camp, and I'm like, all right, cool,
What's
this is
that?
great, let's do it. So I like go out there, and they're like, we have plenty of stuff for you to ride on. No, everybody was riding on their own shit. You got to bring your own bike, okay?
Oh, my God.
So it's like sitting there in the sand all day,
Watching them ride?
hating my fucking life because there's no internet. I have like one Cosmo magazine, and the other guy's girlfriend sucked ass, and I was like, I fucking hate this so much right now. And then they came back like, you want to
That-
go four-wheeling? I was like, yes, get that four-wheeler.
Yeah.
And then I hated that.
That reminds
Take
me.
me home.
My,
I
my
hate
high
this.
school boyfriend, the guy
I never
lost
wanted
my
to go again.
virginity to, he was a skater, and I used to have to go watch him and his friends fucking skateboard for hours, and I fucking hated every second of it. Because they'd
hated
be
it.
like, "Look at us try and do the same trick that we can't land 37 times." in a
He's like,
row."
hey, Bree, let me do a kickflip on your mom. Like, I think I could do it.
Basically, I was just like, this is great. And then they'd be like, we need a new, like, and I always, like, I was the only one with a car because for some reason, every time I'm in a relationship, I'm the only one that has a car.
Oh,
no.
She's like, I have a car, everyone.
fine.
I'm really
Who
well
cares?
hey, we
qualified.
drive the same car.
We
When
do drive the
when
same
we first
car.
met, we're like, hey.
We did. We were like, we're Kia Soul sisters. So yeah. So well, actually, you know what? The British prick did have an Audi because he's
Oh, the
He was the international man of hustling mystery.
oh
liar.
fucking A.
I love how we're talking about foreigners here. We went
That's
from
the
French
thing,
to
though.
British.
That's
Oh, yeah.
We're like,
Wait, she Australian too.
Yes,
yeah.
I do have the Australian man.
I think that's like
holy
positive.
shit.
Nick,
Positive, I would say.
faking it just to to let them know
Yeah,
that you're
what's
by
something
their
you
side.
faked?
I admire you guys so fucking much. You have no idea.
He's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Let's
Nothing.
go.
Yeah, have you ever faked anything?
Like when you
Besides an orgasm.
just somebody
Yeah.
new you liked, you're like, yeah, I guess I could.
You're
go
like, yes, I
do this."
love Britney Spears.
Oh.
God, guys.
Ew,
you know what?
rockabilly music. I did go to a rockabilly music concert. with
I like
Chris.
rock with Chris.
What?
Okay, so Chris
Tiger
and I are going to go
Belly.
see the Horror Pops together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you
bye.
can stay home with the kid.
I would
like,
rather.
have fun. I'm gonna go out four-wheeling.
Would rather. I would rather die.
No, I think if we're like talking about faking things, it's like saying that you like what they do when in reality you're like,
Yeah.
are you just gonna make out with me because like I'm complimenting you?
Okay.
But like at the same time, I really don't give a shit about
However
you.
you
Okay,
like
so
it.
is it like a sexual thing? Like, oh, that feels great, but it doesn't. That's it, because that's a very early 20s thing, and I'm gonna psychoanalyze you right now.
Guys,
Do it.
It's interesting to hear a guy's point of view as
is.
well to like fake it. Like I don't know if I'm just like naive
yeah.
to the fact, but I would like
well,
to.
The thing is, like, again, this is like I think the second podcast I've ever been on. And
Yeah.
I'm just being more open than ever. Like I string both ways, and I faked it on both occasions.
Okay.
Ah.
You know, it's common. You know, like if you're just not vibing with this person, you're like, what am I doing?
You just want to get out of it, so you'd rather fake it rather than stop it and hurt their
But look,
feelings.
I'm gonna just say this. Like I have come off as that guy that's like, okay, I got what I want, and I'm gonna go.
I've done that. I think
Ah.
everybody
Not
sitting
into
in
it,
this
yeah.
fire pit has done that.
I think we've all. Like, I just have thought in that way. Is that we faked it with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You fake what you like. You fake. We all do that for like
We do.
specific people. But then again, like right after you get what you want, you're like, why the fuck did I say that I'd promote his fucking music?
oh my god!
Why did I say that I'd share that on Instagram?
Why did I already follow them on Instagram?
Literally, that is the millennial fucking problem. Like,
No, have you ever been in a situation you like met somebody and then like you meet them in person, you like follow them, maybe you chat, and then you're like, oh my god, I have to unfollow them because I hate them.
No,
I don't
no.
want to ever see them or talk to them again. I'm so
this is
grossed
the
out and
thing.
weirded
Like,
out.
we don't even ask for phone numbers anymore. I'm like, what's your Instagram?
It's
And
true.
Oh,
I'm gonna
absolutely,
judge
yeah.
you right away from your Insta. I'm like, I'm looking at your Instagram. I'm like, you know what? This isn't working, or this is definitely working. And then they
God, I
ghost
miss
you.
dating before
Oh,
social
we're-
media. I miss dating
We're-
before social
We're
media.
actually going to tease you your Instagrams at the end of the show, but
Yeah.
if you want, just click on the little show notes and we'll
Yeah.
put their Instagram handles in it. But you just have to keep.
Wait, did you
listening
just
to
say you
the
were gonna
end.
tease our Instagrams?
Yeah.
guys, I've been
Instagram
posting. It's Thotum. It's
Yeah.
autumn, but Thotum. But like, I'm like, we've all been looking sexy in this fall. Like, come on.
I have to say, I just created like Selfie Monday.
Literally.
I love
It's my
it.
new holiday.
Oh my god.
amazing.
If you ever need to post like a thirst trap or something, just
I have to say, like, what's so funny is he said something about like us faking everything, but like honestly, honey, you're in your early 20s still. When you get to your 30s, you're gonna not fake orgasms anymore.
You're gonna hurt their feelings. You're gonna be like, "This isn't working for me. I'm leaving."
Guys, I'm
pissed.
Fucking leaving.
You just wasted my time.
Yeah.
It's true. You
I have shit to do.
You're just like this. You're not going down on me? Well,
Ooh, okay,
are we having a
here's
standoff?
good question.
Okay, go, Bree.
We're gonna pretend you're getting into a new relationship. How do you handle pictures of your ex on social media?
Oh, okay. All right.
I delete them off of Instagram first.
I deleted all the
Did you?
pictures of my ex.
That
off
is like a
Instagram.
follow-up. Like, I've always been interested in knowing, like, do you allow your ex to follow you? Do you follow them back? Is it like a courtesy thing, or is it?
I unfollowed my ex on everything.
See, that's how I feel, and I keep having an ex.
out.
Yeah,
I'm over
I
that.
keep having an ex like pop back up, and like it'll be like so and so, and I'm like delete, like wants to be your friend.
No.
Delete.
Not interested.
But they keep coming back, and it's like I don't see any positivity in that. Like, what do you want to see? Me in a happy relationship with someone else? Do I want to see?
Yes.
Like, it's
Let's
just
not be friends.
yeah.
Maybe
Like, I
he's a
feel like you
masochist.
shouldn't be. Yeah, I feel like you
Dude,
shouldn't be.
It's so funny that question just like randomly pops up because I've had someone who essentially told me that like they didn't necessarily ghost me, but they're like, I'm not interested, I'm not this. But then again, we're in this millennial age where it's like, if you're liking every single one of my fucking photos and you're just trying to be a little bit more involved, what do you want?
They're just trying to show up. They're trying to be present.
They want
They are
you
not
to
done.
remember them.
Yeah.
They do.
They're not done.
They want you to remember them.
Yeah.
And that's such an unfortunate aspect because, like, you know, we take such a psychological toll on social media. So
Yeah.
if I'm, like, going on my Instagram and I'm going on my likes, I'm like, why is this person liking my photos? Like, I thought you ghosted me, like, 2
It's
months
weird how
ago.
much social media has like a presence in relationships now in
Definitely.
general. Like,
She's lucky because her husband does not have social media.
Chris
Does not
doesn't
give
have
a
any
fuck
social
about
media.
social media.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't.
So cool.
But honestly, and I'm kind of slipping into that as well. But
And
I
you and
try to
you and your
work.
boyfriend don't seem to be very like you guys aren't very like disgusting on social media.
we
You're not
aren't.
licking each other
We're
or
not like
anything.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But we definitely are not. But I do think that like it plays a toll in the sense of like, for example, like we've had Nick and I mutual friends, like maybe people that are friends with him, and you like follow each other, and they'll be like, I followed her. Why isn't she following me?
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, is that a thing? Because I am also like older than him. So to me, like it's definitely something separate. But in the past, when people that he is like associated with think that I'm not following them back, honestly, it's just like a mistake on my part that I'm not that into social media, that I'm just more like, it's not part of my life.
Wait, are you bringing back up this one specific memory?
Why isn't she
thinking about?
following me?
No. It was the weirdest thing because I was talking.
And I didn't notice.
I was talking to
honest.
somebody at one point, and I had noticed that he was like following my cousin. He was following Don't Tell Comedy. He was following this, and I'm like, we've been talking for 3 weeks. Why the fuck are you following my mom?
Now he's following your mom.
And by my mom, I mean Rachel. And I'm like, yeah. And in my head, and he has the audacity to tell me he's like Rachel's not following me back, and I'm like,
And honestly, I did not even realize because it's not that.
I'm like, Rachel doesn't have to follow you back. Like, let's get that straight. You know.
I think I see what's happening here. Okay, we have this is really funny too because you're 24. Okay. I'm gonna be 40 in March. I'm gonna be 40 in March. Bree is just turned 32.
Yes.
Okay, so like we're at different levels of social media.
And
You've
Bree and I
grown
are
up
the
in this
same
age
Yeah,
where
we are.
like the internet was invented when you were born, right?
No, pretty much. I mean, the thing was like at 16, I was.
You grew up with a computer in your house.
Yeah,
I
guys,
was like Oregon Trail.
No,
Yeah, me too.
I'm thinking about like 2008, 8th grade. Like my mom's like set the fucking. She's like
so graduated
she's like set up the Mac. Like we went to Best Buy.
They asked him. He was 4. Set up the Mac for
Dude,
us.
that's literally my mom. She's
for
like,
real, though.
no, they're looking at me like reset the Wi-Fi. They're like, you're a genius, and I'm like, I pressed the reset button. And that's the thing. Like I grew up in this digital age where like we're not going out to bars and meeting people.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
I'm
like
just gonna
Tinder.
activate my Tinder account. account. I'm just gonna like swipe left. I'm gonna swipe right, and if you like message me back, I'm gonna message you too.
And
but,
following, like your friends better follow me. And
As
that's a
our-
whole drama that
as our
we're over
young
here watching
single
TV, like
gentleman
thinking we're cool
who
with
goes-
everybody.
You said you go both ways, right?
yes.
Okay, so do you prefer Tinder or Grindr?
To be honest, I think Grindr's fucking gross.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
I
there's
just
as
think
in a
See,
lot
that's
of
how I
people
feel
think
about
Tinder.
like Plenty
Yeah.
of Fish and stuff.
And this is the thing though, like when you're on Tinder, it kind of just has this different atmosphere. Like you're like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to you and try to be normal and not try to suck your dick. But it's like I'm gonna go on there and I'm gonna like say like
Disagree. I want to suck all the
I
dicks.
was
Bree is like, you know what?
You need to
She's
go
like,
on
I'm a
Grindr.
Libra. Give me that dick.
Bree's like,
Bree's on Grindr.
I can't. Grindr is for gay man.
I know.
Gay men. And
I
I'm
know.
just not a gay man.
no,
my
and-
inner Bree is
I'm
a
not
gay
that
man,
old. I do know what
think.
Grindr
No,
is.
and this is the thing. Like, I remember activating Tinder for the first time here in
Okay.
Las Vegas, and for the past 3 years, I lived in LA, and I tried Tinder a couple
What
times.
part
there.
of LA?
I actually lived in the North Hollywood Burbank area
Oh.
first, and then
Studio City.
Yeah, there you go. You already know.
I'm
And-
an Azusa girl, 626.
Azusa, that's like.
Oh.
and then I moved over to Culver City, and you know when I moved back to Vegas because of like tuition and like all this bullshit that I
and
was
because
going through.
LA is expensive.
LA's
like,
very expensive.
you
I
can rent a
remember-
house out here for what you can rent a studio in LA.
Guys, I was literally catfished my first Tinder date here in Vegas.
Oh shit!
Do you guys want to hear this?
Yeah,
story? This is going on Not So Casual podcast exclusive.
I do have to say I went
yes.
as a catfish last night for Halloween.
Hey!
No, you didn't.
I totally did.
Send us
I
the
was
picture
a-
because we're
She
putting
went
it
as
on
Nev
Instagram.
Schulman.
Yeah,
She
no.
went as Nev
Full
Schulman.
on with like a little bio, like former model. Like
You're my favorite person. No, the thing was
Oh
like,
my god.
I had like just activated my
pictures.
Tinder, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna see like what's going on. And the thing was like I grew up in. I mean, I grew up. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and when I was like 20 to 23, I like lived in LA. So on my 21st birthday, my friends are like, "Oh, you don't want to go to Vegas?" And I'm like, "Why would I go to Vegas?"
You're like, I'm from there.
I'm
whatever.
from there. Why would I want to go there? So now that I'm back, everything's new to me. The downtown scene, like. On Tinder, this guy invited me to Yard House, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, I didn't even know what Yard House
The
was.
best restaurant in Vegas.
It's like I had no idea what Yard.
Please, Tinder. That's high class because most Tinder dates
no.
take you to PT's pubs. That's my go-to. Is like, we're gonna meet. Let's go to PT's.
No, dude, like this one was like, let's go to Yard House. Like we're gonna sit down and talk. But the thing was like, you used a picture that was like from 2 years ago, and I can clearly fucking see that. So I'm gonna be this polite person and sit in front of you. But he had the audacity to tell me, he's like, "Sorry, I'm not talking too much. I get really shy." And I'm like, okay, like, that's okay. Like, I'm doing all the talking. And he's like, "I'm glad you look like your picture." And I'm like, "Yeah,
I wish you looked like yours.
He's like, you look a lot like your picture." I was like, "Yeah, I took it a week ago. And you took yours 2 years ago, and I can clear." And the thing was like the lady came with a check, and I'm like, "Can we separate this? Like, I want to pay for my own rosé.
I'm not paying for this stranger right
For
here.
this, what the fuck?"
Exactly.
But yeah, like that was my first Tinder experience back in
Oh,
Vegas, and I was like, "Whoa, I
jeez.
got catfish."
All right, everybody, you guys.
MJ's sister got catfished
Yeah.
big time.
Hardcore, but it was a whole thing.
It
and
was
she
like
never
a
met
whole
him.
thing.
Episode 8, I think it was.
Episode 8, and you get to hear my
Catfish.
catfish story there too, which
Oh,
was the real
the British
person in
prick,
her picture,
which
his
was
pictures.
the British
I was
prick.
like,
star.
her.
You're
This
gonna
is
have to go
something
listen
new.
to
No,
it.
not her.
Listen to that one.
Listen to that one.
But yeah, I mean, that's just a good rule of thumb, though. If you're going to be doing Tinder and everything, people are going to show up and be like, "I don't give a fuck if you was hot 2 years ago. Where you at now?"
Where are you at now?
Who are
Exactly.
you?
Well, you know what's funny is when-
Gross.
before Keeping It Casual, MJ was doing a podcast called Sharing Secrets, and I was doing a podcast called
That's why we kept saying
Sharing Secrets.
That's
I was doing a podcast called Why Did I Date Him? Now we've integrated Why Did I Date Him into Keeping It Casual.
See,
which
I
is
love
really
that.
nice. Actually, no, this is a good time to promote. Please, listeners, send us your Why Did I Date Him stories
Yes.
feedback at
I've
Keeping
been
It Casual podcast.
following that, and there's
Yeah.
so many times where I'm just like,
Rachel's like, "Why did I date him?"
Yeah.
oh, so many.
Everybody has these stories, and really, it's not just specifically for men. It's why did I date them? But come on, we've all dated that guy who brings his guitar to a party
oh
and tries to play.
I'm that girl that would be like, "I like him. Play me
No,
another
that
Rachel
was
Stick
that
song."
was us.
Oh my
See,
God!
when
I
Rachel
was
and
like
I
the
Soundgarden-
biggest groupie.
I'm that girl too.
I fell in love with with you.
Kill me.
Rachel and I
Why?
went out for micheladas after I went to Don't Tell Comedy, and she was like, "I love that you're so open about your old groupie past because I used to be a groupie too." And I was like, "Oh
like
my
if
God.
you don't look dead and carry a guitar, like I was not for it."
Yeah,
and then now,
exactly.
now I'm like, oh God,
God, right?
I also love that
Why?
we always check with our guests to see what their beverage of choice is, and I love that Rachel was like, micheladas. It's a stand favorite around here. Red wine is always appreciated
Guys.
as well, but a michelada is very specific.
Heard you listening to
randomness.
us, and he was like, "Oh, that's why you like micheladas, right?"
I like he brought me like my two because I like the tall. He always brings me at Don't Tell Comedy the tall cans of Bud Light.
Oh, yeah.
So, gosh, by the way, man, was I drunk at your live show?
We do open bars
Yes. We
for
do
$5.
open bar.
You know, and I feel so lame because I was just drinking those tall cans the whole night, and I was
Did
like,
you have the Trulies?
no, I was drinking. We brought BYOB. Yeah, we
love
did.
it. Thank you.
And he did
she
drink
knew.
some whiskey.
I was gonna
but-
say, you guys didn't go visit Natalie at the bar.
He did. Yeah, he went for whiskey, but I did bring my micheladas, so wasn't
Okay.
100% sure
So
that
great.
what was going on.
I like those Modelo micheladas.
They're
I
so
will
good.
confirm this story
I've
that like
done those.
Justin literally brings a michelada to Rachel like at every show.
That's
Every
amazing.
show.
and I only
Have
see
He
you
didn't hook
it.
me
You
up
have
with
your
the
mini
michelada.
wine.
He tried to give me
Seriously.
White Claw, and I was like, "I'm not a basic
No, but like
bitch, though."
you can spot Rachel just standing by me, and she has a
Just this,
michelada.
like, tall can.
And I'm like,
It's
Rachel,
fine.
where did you get that? She's like, Justin came to the show,
Did
and
he
I'm
give-
like,
the show I was at, did
good.
Justin give the michelada the one comedian who was like, "I can't stand
Yeah,
this beer. I need
exactly.
something
He did.
else."
I
He's
think
like-
it was my brother that
Oh,
gave him that beer.
yeah, he did give him a
The
beer.
one
too.
with
Yeah,
the one with the tattoos of his parents on his hands. I don't remember his name.
What?
Oh yeah. What?
That's an unforgettable. Well, forgot your name. Remember the tattoos, though.
terrible.
That's weird.
Remember the hand tattoo.
Sorry,
Yes,
that's
hand
weird.
tats. Because
Well, 'cause he has a
had,
whole
like,
joke
he had,
on
like
it.
his mom on one hand, like her face, and
his dad on the other. And he has a whole joke
jerks
about it.
off with the hand
Deal
that
breaker.
his dad is on.
I'm sorry. Red flag,
Yeah.
deal breaker, all that. I'd be
Right.
like, I
He's
can't.
married. Like it doesn't.
The second
Yeah,
he goes to like give his pay for the drink up
I-
to the first meeting at Yard House,
We
I'm
did
like,
get off track with
that's
those
your dad, I
questions,
gotta
but
go.
by the way,
Christ.
I think deleting immediately all social media.
Oh yeah,
Did
we
get
were
off
talking about
way
something.
off track because
This
you
is how
guys
it happens.
You guys,
but
we
delete
need to
everything
take-
immediately is my thing, just to
I think too.
be like, fuck you.
On that note, let's get into some rapid fire.
Fuck, I'm so ready for this. I'm having too much fun, honestly.
Yes.
Oh my God. I can't wait to go out to Don't Tell Comedy's
I
next
can't
live
either.
show, November
Thank
16th.
you. I appreciate that.
I'm so fucking stoked, and Chris is gonna love it.
Chris
because
is going. We're having a
Chris-
date night.
You know what? Here's how you know you have a good show if you've made Chris laugh.
Or if anal beads happen. Don't tell him I told him about
that.
this.
He's really
Don't
into
tell
it.
him.
You know what? No, Chris is your ultimate like have you put on a good comedy show because Chris met my ex and he was just like I really wanted to laugh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, he
yeah.
goes, well, I thought he'd be funny. I was like, babe, that
And
just go
Chris
popping
went
off
out
jokes.
to my ex's show and he
That's what they
basically
do.
was like every other comedian was funny, but
That's like with me. Like Justin, I was like, okay, I'm going on this podcast about dating, and we've been together so long. I'm not sure I have much to say. And he was like, well, your ex was a loser and not very funny, so
She called the fuck out.
you can
told me you dated
yeah,
a comedian, yes.
yeah, I've been a comedian dater for a very long time, and
you know what phrase I hate? Chuckle fucker.
yeah, that was
Not a good
me.
phrase.
That's
I spent a
awful.
lot of
Chuckle
time.
fucker. I've
I
never
used
heard
to
that.
Me
literally
either.
live at the Laugh Factory in LA.
Oh.
So there's a little.
I feel bad for
condos right
comedians for that.
behind.
It's like, just he has
no,
a sense of
you
humor
know how
and he's
I
funny.
heard that phrase?
chuckle
My
fucker.
ex told me that phrase,
Ugh.
and he referred to that. He referred to his now girlfriend as a chuckle fucker. When he was,
Chuckle fucker. I like cannot
Hold on,
because that's
hold
gonna
on.
stay
This
with
is
me
a whole
forever.
thing.
I might be a chuckle fucker.
I am. I guess. I don't
Rachel.
know. But he referred to his girlfriend as one because I was like, I don't trust this bitch, and he's like, oh, she's just a chuckle fucker, and I was like, a what?
A what?
Wow.
Like I fucked musicians through my 20s, so
God, Bree and I are one and the same.
because
Running
Nick
shit.
and I are single, we're what matters in this world.
No, Rachel had texted me like a couple days and she goes, I haven't dated in 5 years. I'm like, bro, I just went on a second Tinder date like 2 days ago. Like, this was like 2 days and
You're like, I got 2 dates. We're doing good.
You're
so,
out there. It's rad.
So
Go
we're gonna
for it.
pretend like we're all single, and we're
Okay.
gonna play rapid
All
fire
right.
All right.
dump take them or keep them.
All right.
Do
Okay.
you want to start or do you want me to start?
All right, I'll kick it off. Okay,
'Kay.
here we go. Wants to watch porn together for the first time and then every time after.
Oh, God, dump them.
Whoa. I would say dump.
Yeah.
That's
oh my
weird.
God, am I weird that I'm like, I wouldn't mind that?
What if he only wants to watch gay porn?
Oh.
I
Well,
think-
then I think we need to have a talk.
Yeah. But instead of music, like the porn always goes on. She's
Yeah.
like, babe, she's putting it on. She's like, get
You
the
know,
YouTube ready.
I'm
the
weird because I
porn.
never had
like
like porn like relevant in my life, and now like I feel like I'm like, okay, let's learn some shit.
Okay, really quick
All right,
rapid
I like
fire.
it.
Favorite porn sites? Twitter.
Tumblr, Twitter. Let's just jump on this topic.
Pornhub.
Pornhub.
Which Gina from Erotic City writes for Pornhub, so there's that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, my friend Gina used to be Dear Slut and Hustler because that's the type of people
You
I
guys
hang
were
out with.
supposed to have a porn star last week, right? That
We don't have
last
to talk about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we got really day drunk before she got there, and we were like, we guess we're talking about sex. And you know what? This is going to be our first live Instagram as well because
Amazing.
it's 4 in the afternoon and people want to hear about anal sex, in our opinion, and our non-sexpert opinion, just because we've had the sex that we
I
could
like
share.
it.
You know what? Everybody is a sexpert in their own way. Next rapid fire. They prefer you groom differently than the way you groom and talk to you about it in a condescending way.
Ooh,
So,
dump. But
I really wish you would wear a landing strip because all bald, not my thing.
A landing strip.
I don't know. That was the first thing that came
I thought
to
about
know.
landing strip, and then I'm like Hitler. I'm like, what are all these? Like, Jesus.
God, your
I-
vagina is really serious right now.
I watched Harold and
Can you
Kumar a couple
bedazzle
of
that
times.
shit or not?
Vajazzles.
I have vajazzled before, and it's not my finest moment.
Okay, Nick, what if have you ever, do dudes vajazzle? Have you come across it?
Yeah, interesting.
Wait, you jazzled?
Pajamas.
It's all
okay.
G.I. Joe things.
I mean, I tend
Have
to
you
not.
put rhinestones on your dick before?
I have never put rhinestones on my dick.
What if somebody did? Would you be like appreciating?
I would probably be a little freaked out. I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Only
like,
if you met them at EDC, though.
Okay,
No.
girls
It's
and
Coachella.
guys. What if
Coachella.
it's completely bald on a man? How do you like?
No. You need a little bit of hair to
A little
cover those
bit, I agree.
wrinkly ass
I
balls
agree.
up.
A little fuzz.
Yeah.
Dude, Bree's over here spilling truth bombs.
How do you feel
Deeper
about
than my
this?
wine.
I feel like groom, but don't over groom.
Yeah,
when it
groom.
comes to
Yeah,
guys.
groom. Ladies,
Groom, but
you can
don't-
groom however you'd like. Like
Yeah.
for pussies, it's a little different. Like
Yeah.
I do the
I'm
full
bald.
Brazilian.
I
Yeah.
just
Okay,
is
no, I'm
what
not
it
gonna
is.
lie. Like I like a girl with less hair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm just being very.
I'm
like,
just-
upfront.
well, yeah.
The way
I
I look
agree.
at it, you know what's funny is I had an ex-boyfriend who was like, you don't have to get Brazilians for me, and I was like, babe, it's a desert out there, and I don't get Brazilians for you. I get them because I need to breathe.
I go back and forth. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm shaving, and sometimes it goes too far, and I'm like, oh, well, now we
Okay,
gotta
but
go
now
all in.
like I don't even do Brazilians. I just do it myself with the shit that Grace told me about.
Okay, please say that again
It's
because we all know
magic.
this.
No, I
Honestly, I'll put it in the show notes because I'm drunk and I don't know what it's called. I just know that it's nair that you can put on your pussy.
and it
and
doesn't
it's like
burn.
sensitive to skin.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
And it
it's
took
made,
it all off.
It's made for like African American
new.
man beards.
Oh, I remember
Whoa,
you mentioned
Yes.
and you're
this.
putting this on your vagina?
Yeah, but
it
so
does-
it's like
it's like
sensitive
pH
skin.
My
Yeah.
vagina is equivalent to the African American beard. I will tell you that.
It sounds like you're like National Geographic, like going down
No,
there.
it's like pH balance.
Lion
and
King.
everything.
oh my god!
And it lasts like most.
In its natural
Most waxes are going to last for about
Mufasa.
3 weeks, but
Okay.
this lasts 4 days. But it's like it's
But
not
still.
$50
No, but that
every
makes
time.
sense, though,
yeah,
because it gets like it's thick hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not like leg hair. and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like a beard.
yeah.
Well,
It's disgusting.
That is
I am
so
so sorry
brilliant.
for
Nick,
calling
we're gonna
it a
get you
beard.
some
No,
too.
it's
Nick
okay.
is like curled in a ball over here. Okay.
Yes, vagina hair.
Okay, next question.
Okay. Fell asleep on your side of the bed and then snored like crazy all night.
That doesn't bother me.
Keep him or dump him.
I wouldn't
Guys.
dump him, but I'd be pretty pissed. Like, you need to make
I
up for
think
that
throughout
shit.
this whole podcast, I was like talking about hookups. I'm like, what are you still doing here?
Yeah.
You know, like, are you gonna go home anytime soon?
Like I don't have sleepovers at my house, so my side of the bed is my entire bed. So I would have to share.
I don't mind. I'm probably snoring, and I'm not.
Me too.
I'm not picky about each side. Sometimes I make Chris, like, he comes, he goes, oh, you're on that side tonight. I'm like, I just feel like switching it up. He's just like.
The guy I've been sleeping with, major snore.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me because it's like, he's so cute.
And I
If
can't help
Justin
it.
is like home late, I usually go on his side of the bed. I don't know why, but I'm
Because
just
you
like,
want his smell and stuff.
yeah, I just like lay on his side and then I let my dog take my side and then he comes home. I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta move.
God, I wish I knew what that feeling was like. I'm over here talking about Tinder hookups, and Bree is like, I agree.
My whole bed. So what about you? Somebody's on you. Do you have are you territorial
side
on
of
your
the bed?
side of the bed?
I would definitely say that I'm definitely a right side of the bed. Like, I'm always sleeping on the right-hand side.
Okay.
and
Is it
that's-
near the door?
I was gonna say that's the thing, like whether it be near the door or not near the door.
No, it's definitely near the door. Like, I need to be able to turn off
Hey,
my...
man, you're the man.
I definitely need to, like, turn off my alarm clock, but I definitely need to run out at the same time.
Okay.
There's
See, I'm more
MJ's
concerned
like,
about
"Fuck,
intruders.
you know what?"
Like I'm like,
Okay, so
Murderino.
that's
I've never
something-
heard this before until Bree said this.
My dad taught me at a very young age the man always sleeps next to the door because if
Yes.
somebody comes
You
in,
can fight them off.
he can
quicker.
fight them off.
MJ,
my
like
dad-
Analyst, I'm like, yeah, I know.
My dad, yeah. See, this is why we're the
I
same.
sleep by the door.
My dad
Same
always.
person.
My
Like,
dad
that's his
taught
guy.
me. The man always walks on the
side of the
sidewalk,
road.
closest to the
Yes.
road. Yes.
I was
Absolutely.
definitely taught that as well. Like, I was taught that if I'm ever walking by a girl, that she has to be, like, on the opposite side of the road. Like, I have to be by the road.
You
Yes.
know, my ex was like
Yeah.
he's Southern, like a Southern gentleman, so everything was very much. Whereas Justin grew up in Las Vegas, so
He's
that
like,
is-
you stand on the side of the road.
he doesn't. He's like, just
doesn't
like
even
not
acknowledge
like
it.
it doesn't even like register to him. And sometimes I'm like, and not to compare him to my ex whatsoever.
No, but-
the Southern gentleman side of me versus like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you walking 5 feet in front of me?
All right,
Next
all right,
question.
next one, we're gonna
They mentioning their ex on the first date.
Ooh, I'm done.
Done.
Get out of here.
No, I would say that, like, why?
Okay, I feel
Why?
like there's a point where you have to establish boundaries, and if it's a first date, you need to talk about that. And is that
Okay.
I feel
But
like
they
you,
keep mentioning their ex. They're like, my ex is such a bitch, and she's fucking crazy.
I feel like yeah, you
That's
might need
red
to see
flags.
a counselor because there's something deeper and like
Yes.
it's kind of hanging
Yeah.
on there.
But
And
here-
there's
here's-
something, but I do feel like when you meet someone
You
and
need
you're
to know
dating,
the ex
you need
stories.
to talk about the exes
Yeah.
and establish it because you know, like I could say this is what my ex did, and you establish like this sense of this is how I expect to be treated, and this is how I wasn't treated, and
Yeah.
this is why it didn't work out.
Oh, I
And
like
so
that.
I feel like you do need to have the ex conversation because I have in the past tried to keep talking about
Mystery.
yeah, like you know, I don't want to offend anyone or
What if
hurt
you're
anyone's
dating
feelings.
somebody who knows your ex? Because I've been very good at keeping that boundary of
So-
not talking about it.
So my current boyfriend and I, like Justin, I keep saying Justin. No one knows who Justin is. Okay, my ex,
okay.
my boyfriend and my ex.
Uh-huh.
We've been friends way longer than we have been in a relationship.
Okay.
We've been best friends. So
I knew that.
yeah, so we have dated, and I've seen who he's dated, how he's treated exes, and how he's been
Oh.
through relationships, and same with me. I've lived out of the country, and he's always just been part of my life. And so it's been a thing where, like, we kind of understand it, and we have an open relationship about our exes, and it's,
Did
it's,
you have that friendship? Able
yeah,
to talk
yeah,
about
because he was
things
my best
first?
friend for a really long time.
I wish that I would have, I would think that way, because in my head I'm like, don't compare me to people I'm better than.
yeah,
Like,
see, there's,
come
yeah.
the fuck on. Like,
Here's
don't
my thing.
Don't compare me to people that I'm better than.
I like that.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with the situation I'm in. I just don't want to say something that's going to make him go, oh, red flag.
Yeah.
So I keep very quiet about what happened between my ex and I, between what happened.
Yeah,
what's
because
go-
if they're in the
yeah.
same circle, it's
They're in the same
yeah.
circle. I wouldn't say they're friends, but I
They're
would
in
just
the same circle,
they're in the
which
same circle.
it could be
So-
brought up, and they know each other. They know about
Exactly.
each other.
So I
Yeah.
just
Vegas
kind
is
of
a small
keep,
city.
It's a
Yeah.
Vegas is a very, small
Very
city.
small.
So I
Can't
just
worry
keep
about
things
that.
very quiet and let him say what he wants to say about my ex, and I go,
Right.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
MJ, have you ever experienced that? Even though you guys have been married for a long time, Have you ever?
No.
Have you ever ran into an ex
She
in
almost
Vegas?
lived next door to an ex.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, shit.
No.
No, we almost bought the house. Like before we
From
bought
your ex?
Well, it was just some guy I dated. He was the one I actually like. He was actually the one who had the motorcycle and the one who said like whatever.
You
we
only
did an
dated
episode.
it because he had a motorcycle.
He had a
right?
motorcycle. That's what kept it going. But he was also from the episode. What is something ever stopped you dead in your tracks before having sex? It was like, yeah, it was all hot and heavy, and then we go to the bedroom. And then he just like flops on the bed, like, take me now. I'm like, I don't think so.
She saw the motorcycle and the
got
real
to do
estate
some
sign and was
work.
like, never mind.
Yeah, well, it was just
he
like
is false advertisement.
girl, and it was
Like,
just he was like, okay, take me now. I was like, oh no.
She showed me a picture of him, and I was like, "Oh, girl,
No,
he is not
okay.
cute enough to
Here's
be
the thing.
acting that way."
He had a very specific nickname he went by, and when we pulled up to this house down the street,
Off mic,
and
I
I'm
need
like,
to know this.
we're like looking at it, and I'm like, this is a cool house. Me and Chris, before we bought this house we're sitting at right now, and I'm like, fucking, it's cool. We're like walking out, and all of a sudden I see this car pull up, and it's the car that he drove, but I wasn't even acknowledging that until I looked at the license plate, and I'm like, oh no, personalized license plate.
No, you saw
No,
that
that's
right
the
away.
worst.
And then he gets out of the car, gets a lady out of the car, and then they get their little baby out of the car. I'm like, oh God. And I'm like pregnant. I'm like,
Can we all just point out red flag personalized license plate?
She's pregnant. A kid walks out of the motorcycle, and you're like, "Fuck, what's going on?"
I was like, we would all become fast friends. That's what my joke was like Chris and him would become fast friends, working on cars and like their motorcycles. And I'm like, I can't live this life. I straight up told him, I was like, we can't live here. We can't. It was like literally the neighbor house. Anyways, yeah. So that was
so fantastic.
that was a crazy
That's
one.
amazing.
Okay, let's do one more rapid fire,
more.
and we got to get this
We
show
are
on the road,
chatty.
you guys. Okay,
We're gonna keep drinking off mic,
Yeah,
and you're
we're
jealous.
having a good time for
Yeah.
sure. These ladies.
I'm having
Thanks for
a
having
fantastic
us.
time with these
It's
three
amazing.
women.
And guess what, guys? We're gonna be hosting a Don't Tell comedy eventually.
Yeah,
so
we're just putting it out there.
Absolutely.
We're manifesting. It's already sold out.
it's
There it is.
already
It's
sold
like
out.
I'm here and I'm just listening to this, and I'm like, this is probably gonna
You know what?
happen.
You know what is crazy, Nick, is that you are so like you have so much depth, and we just want to know so much more. And like
I
this
feel like
doesn't even give
MJ
you
and Nick
justice.
are very like
And
connecting.
me.
Well,
Yes.
no, I was just giving Nick the first because he's our first male guest, and I wanted to give him their.
Wait, am I the first
Rachel-
male guest in keeping it casual?
Yes.
Sure.
As far
Holy
as fire
fuck!
pit.
I'm sorry about telling you about my
Fire
friend
pit,
hookup.
though.
What are you sorry about? We were all like, tell us more.
Tell
We
us
want to know
more.
more. Our space.
Our fire
no,
pit.
you're here.
Andrew is
And-
gonna be
and-
really jealous.
And
It's the
Rachel.
fire
I know.
And-
Andrew was like very into, he was like, yeah, I'm going to be the single dude
Yeah.
on their podcast. I was like, I love this guy.
he
he
like
did
went
it-
up to
he-
Rachel and he's
yeah,
like, "Do you want to know how I met Bree?"
Say that on the podcast because I was like, I don't know if I should say that, but like,
Well,
the
it's
way
actually-
he said it was hilarious.
Well, I kind of got drunk on the live show and admitted that he and I hooked up, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
You were like, we fucked.
I'm not even
Yeah.
kidding.
No, it kind of
He
like
was
came
like-
a thing. Like he was talking about his moves, and I was like, all you did was turn on Jeopardy for me, and then everybody was like, and I was like, oh fuck.
And that's what he was doing the last time you guys were hanging
You're
out.
like, my
He
dick
said
was
that.
so hard with Jeopardy, but like, you have no,
No,
idea.
but-
No, he goes, I know Bree, like, and I was like, oh, do you? Because he goes, let's do it. Like that, like he did that. And I was like, oh, you were like a Keeping It Casual fan. Like, I know what you're saying.
Let's
and
do
then
it.
he goes,
Let's do it.
yeah. Bree went down on me. And I was like, oh, nice to meet
I do
you.
want to say that like
Legendary.
I feel very honored to be the first like male
Yeah.
like
Yes, you
person
should be.
on this show. I was like Bree and MJ served me some great wine, a
Oh my
great shot,
gosh.
and we're just having a great time.
Some of our all-time favorite wine as well. And
Amazing.
Menage
And
a
I
trois.
wasn't just
Very
giving
good.
the love to Nick, though, Rachel. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say, like, you, oh my gosh, you have so much depth and personality and beauty.
beautiful.
Oh, God, what a babe.
I know.
But I just.
Our fans are hot.
Yeah, they
MJ. Like, I can't even hate on this.
but
Dude,
you-
I like introduced myself to every single person at your live show. I was like, oh, by the way, I love you. Like, you're gorgeous and I love your costume. And I was so annoying. But that
That's
live
okay.
show
No, I
was
love
the
it.
best thing ever.
Oh,
if,
I love it.
if anyone's listening, you have to go
You have to
on
go
their
the next
tour.
one.
You guys are going to do a tour.
Oh, check out
I-
Babe Tour 2020.
I know. I
It
definitely
was
have
so
to
much
stand
fun,
by that
Nick.
because I was watching your guys'
Honestly.
Instagram stories. I
Uh-huh.
was watching Rachel's Instagram stories, and I'm like, why the fuck am I not there?
I know.
why am I
what the
not
heck,
there?
Nick? And you
Okay.
know what? We're gonna be. But what I was saying though is, Rachel, you have so much depth and personality, and
Thank
we just want to know so much more about both of you. So we're gonna have to do.
We're the dream team,
We're
baby.
gonna have to
Don't Tell Comedy Dream Team.
Don't Tell Comedy is on it.
times keeping it casual part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, because we need more from both of you. Absolutely.
Yes, but
So-
we're going to do one more question.
One more, and
Shout
that's
out
it.
November 16th. MJ, Chris, and I will fucking be there
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Yes.
So it better be a keepers meetup. Go get your goddamn tickets right now.
I'm bringing a big bottle of Hornitos right now. So if you can't afford to be
Literally
YOB,
at our
just
last
saying.
show, a woman brought a Patron bottle and lime, and I was like, "What the fuck is your problem?"
Yeah.
And she
Chris
didn't know.
is- oh, okay. Chris is coming out to tell us to wrap it up. So one more question.
Let's go. Chris is my engineer. He's my sound guy. He's also my sound check guy.
Okay,
He's
one more question.
Time check. Let's do it.
We actually,
I know.
what happened is we weren't on the mics. We were talking about other
We were just
stuff.
drinking.
We were
All right, you can come out. Send out the herd.
Herd sends out the herd. We got one more question.
All right, guys, here's the last one. Let's just do the quickie. On a first date, they keep texting someone the whole time. You don't know what they're texting their mom. You don't know if they're looking
Dump
at their
them.
ads. What's
I'm gonna
going on?
assume that they're
Oh,
texting
God.
other girls on Tinder. Dump them.
Absolutely.
Texting the whole date.
I would have to know exactly what
Phones
is
away
going
first
on.
date.
I cannot stand someone on their phone.
I can't
Like they're like, oh, I'm sorry, it's a business thing, and they keep just like doing this, and you're like, okay, one business text is
No,
fine.
honestly,
No, keep
I can
doing
say
it.
this. The guy I've been dating
Rude.
this year,
Don't.
our first date, he pulled out his phone once, and that was because his roommate was like going to Walmart, and he was like, hey, pick me up some creamer for my coffee.
Honestly, not acceptable.
No, honestly, it was
that guy.
It was okay
thinking,
because
"Get
I
out of
had
here."
went to the bathroom and I came out and he was on his phone. Completely acceptable.
Yeah, okay.
Guys,
Okay.
can I-
Weird because
Good job.
this is actually interesting. I want to hear Nick's
Yeah.
because
Nick, are you on your
he
phone a lot
is-
on your first date?
But yeah, we have to consider 24.
He
Like,
is,
this
he's
a
24.
Oh
different-
yeah. Okay, you're a lot younger than us.
Okay,
Just a
like,
boy of
just
24,
all
trick-or-treating.
Like all I was like, yeah, I didn't go trick or treating this year, guys. I'm very proud of myself. No.
It did not go.
She's like, MJ's like, he didn't come to my house.
Yeah.
At least I didn't see him.
Did you not
didn't
know
make it to
this
the
neighborhood
neighborhood.
is popping off?
He did know. He did
Okay.
know. He was
They
in his
have, like,
Facebook
a house
group.
where people are like, "Oh, look, it's the ladybug!" Boo, boo, boo,
And they're
boo,
giving
boo.
out edibles, and I'm there. The thing is, like, if I ever want to get out of some type of weird Tinder date or someone who I'm
Oh.
not digging, say bullshit
Go on your
aside,
phone.
is that my sister, who's about 15 years, she's 15 years old. I text her 3 umbrellas, and I'm like, those 3 umbrellas signify to get me the fuck out of here.
Well, we all have to have that safe thing because my best friend works for the police department.
Yeah.
So if I'm going on a first date, I'm like, here's the picture of the guy, here's his car, here's this, here's that. Murderino life.
You're depending on someone that works for the Metropolitan Police Department. I'm depending on my 15-year-old sister to come
And
up with a lie.
emojis. And
No,
emojis.
and no, MJ's right because MJ literally called it out. I text my sister 3 umbrella emojis, and I'm like, you know what this means.
Yeah.
And so my sister
That's the
calls me.
emergency call.
My sister calls me and she's like, I'm locked out of the house. It's
Yeah.
11:30 p.m. and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
I will.
good.
Yeah.
I will
I gotta
be there.
go. I gotta help my sister. She's locked out.
That's a
locked
good
out of
one,
the house.
actually.
Yeah,
Anybody
that's
need
smart.
that one?
Yeah.
I feel like
She's
people
locked
need
out
that.
of the
Even though I don't
house.
have a-
She's locked out of the
Yeah,
house.
I don't
I
have a
have
sister,
to
but
go,
it's fine.
and the waiter's like, "Okay, guys, here's the bill," and I'm like, "I will pay for my own glass of wine." Actually, like
That's
in this
really
case.
good.
So
It's probably the best excuse I've ever
Actually,
heard of
I
all
agree.
time.
Yeah.
No,
That's really
it's
smart.
just it's
We're all
3
using it.
It's literally three emojis.
I intimidate my Tinder dates with my best friend works for Metro and my guy best friend does intel for the government.
Dude, that's hilarious.
So-
You're like, my dad is a cop, and he
No,
will
for
track me down.
Everyone in my family, like my sister's husband, like my boyfriend, everyone's like cop. I'm like, I drop that shit like crazy. Like, yeah, I will find you.
I will find you and I will kill you. Is that tip from taking 1, 2, or 3?
Even the guy I've been dating this year, I told him I was like my best friend works for Metro. My other best friend, he does intel for the government.
And also, I have a podcast, so everything you say can and will be held against you. Okay,
It's
and I
true.
got you.
This
I
is
guess
on
we
the
gotta
record.
wrap up. The kids are coming out,
the kids
guys.
are coming out.
Thank you so much. Don't Tell Comedy.
Here
Okay, so your next show is November 16th, and then a fire.
Say hi, Logan.
Say the next Don't Tell Comedy show is on November 16th, and you guys should definitely join us because the women from Keeping It Casual will be there, and they'll be joining
Yes,
us.
we
And making this show so much more
And
fun.
Chris, so it's 21 and up, I'm guessing.
21 and up.
BYOB.
BYOB.
November
BYOB.
16th. Please, Instagram handle, Nick.
Don't Tell Las Vegas, or if you want to follow me personally and link up with me on Tinder. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just talking about that.
Nick, we want you.
The Nick Arellano, and it's Thottum, so like my pictures are fire right now.
Spell your name. Spell your crazy name.
THE. It's NICKARELLANO.
Gotcha.
Hit me the fuck up.
All right, Rachel, please.
If you just want to be at Don't Tell Comedy.
Don't Tell Comedy Las Vegas, because my actual Instagram's really boring. You'll see a lot of dog pictures.
So
whenever I try to tag Rachel, and I'm like R.N.
I am Rachel Nicole. Yeah, so Logan.
Logan's infiltrating.
What?
Logan,
what's your Instagram
what's
handle?
your Instagram handle?
He's like,
so
it's Don't
big.
Tell
Logan
Comedy.
likes you.
He's very intimidated by Rachel.
Very intimidated by her. He like has a crush on her.
He
must.
forgoed
Guys.
Bree tonight, and he was like, Rachel. He was like, so.
Yeah, he didn't care about Auntie Nana tonight.
Before we close this out, like I do want to give like a very like honest shout out to Don't Tell Comedy. Like follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're always posting some really new cool shit.
What if people want to be on Don't Tell Comedy? Like, what
do they message
comedians? Or they want to be
we
interns?
need volunteers. We need spaces.
People. We
like
need
if
people to fan
are
Nick.
interested in hosting a show at their house, their backyard,
Guys,
business, we need this.
You have to understand that hosting a Don't Tell Comedy is so easy.
And the Keeping It Casual
MJ's pointing
studio.
to
Yes, Keeping It Casual studio, I'm not going to lie, is perfect for this. We have plenty of space. We just need a restroom
and no kids.
space.
We need a restroom and no space and no liquor license because we're a BYOB show and we thrive
really hard
on that.
in Las Vegas.
Oh
That is
yeah,
our
no, those are
major
really
hiccup.
difficult.
But other than that,
I don't
please.
have a big backyard, so we can't host it at Bree's house.
Don't Tell Comedy's next show,
Don't Tell
November
Las
16th.
Vegas.
Tell
in
Las
Las
You know
Vegas,
what?
please.
I've got to give up to all Don't Tell Comedy because one of my favorite comedians, Rosebud Baker, was on Don't Tell Comedy New York, and that's why I was like, oh, Don't Tell Comedy is like actually a big thing.
We are definitely a big thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we
so
thrive
give
on
it
that.
up to Don't Tell Comedy. Thank you guys so much for driving
being
all
here.
the way out to the fucking
Centennial Hill.
Dude,
my
my
internet
Google
shut off.
Yeah, my Google Maps at one point was like, where the fuck are we going?
Your Google Maps chimed in. It was like, did you bring your hiking boots?
Literally.
Did you know that it's cold? You're going to the mountains. Yes, the children have infiltrated, you guys. It's that kind of episode here. But
All right.
Don't Tell Comedy rocks. Follow them all over. Make sure you slide into the DMs
And
on Nick's page.
our yes.
Nick
Our-
is single. Everyone.
Nick is single, and
I hope they
our
post a
Keeping
photo
It
because he is fun.
Thank you.
And he's
Our
24.
Keeping
He
It
can teach us
Casual
all
November
things.
meetup is going to be at Don't Tell Comedy on November 16th.
There it is.
That is
Yes.
our Keeping It
All the
Casual
keepers were
November.
going to the show, so
Yes.
let's do
Let's
it.
go, guys.
I
Have a
have
fun night
keepers
out.
who are like, I don't like comedy shows, but they're gonna come to this. I don't
Meet
care.
me,
doesn't
meet
like
Bree,
fun?
meet
Who doesn't
MJ,
like to
meet
laugh?
Rachel, meet everyone who was on this podcast.
I won't be there.
Oh, is that when you're out of town?
I am out of town. I'm in San Francisco that weekend, but I love everyone, and I hope you all come and support us. But I will not be there that night.
That's okay.
unfortunately.
You guys, the children have taken over the show.
All right.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Should we wrap
They're
this
here.
up?
Let's wrap it up with a big
Until
bye.
next
Thank
time.
you for having us.
Until next time.
Bye. I'm the only like masculine voice in this.
Bye.
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 Wait, Vivian has to say bye.
Oh,
Come here.
Vivian. She's got the unicorn hoodie on, and she's
All right.
rich. She stole my blanket, and she's ready. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, good times. We hope you related.
If so, let us feature you. Email us at feedback@keepingitcasualpodcast.com or show you're a keeper on Facebook. Like the Keeping It Casual page and join the group.
Yes, bonus. If you rate and review on Apple Podcasts, you get into our monthly Keeping It Casual swag giveaway. It's the last Wednesday of every month.
More hookups when you share us on your Instagram stories at Keeping It Casual Podcast.
That's right. Find me anywhere socially at MJ Radio Diva.
And I'm everywhere at Breemixed, BREEMIXED.
Keep it casual.
Bye.
Bye.